Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. You know, many people have been coming to me off and on throughout the years to ask me questions about turbos. So I decided to make a video on the signs to look out for when a turbo actually goes bad, and to explain to you the importance of the maintenance of how to keep up that turbo to keep it from going bad and what to look out for. This procedure can be helpful for any sports car, passenger vehicle, any commercial vehicle. So we're going to walk out here to the shop, and I need for you to give me a hand. This is a sign of a bad turbo. It gets so bad that you cannot drive it down the highway. And on top of that, you've lost power. You may only can go 20 miles per hour at a time. So we're definitely going to have to change the turbo. And it's blowing out black smoke. You may see some oil, because oil is fed through the turbo to keep it lubricated. Definitely a sign of a bad turbo. First of all, I like to make a box. Actually put all my bolts in. And we're going to go ahead and put on my air cleaner, air hose. Let's go ahead and get these items out the way. Going out pretty good. See if we can get the whole unit up. There we go. That's a lot easier. Just pull the whole unit off. See if we can disconnect our wiring harness. I'm not going to forget to hook that back up. Let's move this to the side. Now I'm going to bring you closer to the turbo. Now we have everything out the way, we can actually see it, and have a little oil inside of the blower section. But my main concern, I kept hearing a noise. Get this right, and it sounds like it was this shaft. Wow. Now you see this? This should not be. This is what I kept hearing. And it tried to, sometime when you shut her off, that I can still hear it whining. The shaft is actually just broken. And this is the worst thing that can happen to a turbo. Now what feeds this shaft is the oil from the oil filter. That's what feeds the lubricates the shaft. So I'm a little concerned here if this tube is stopped up, and maybe that's what made this shaft go out so quickly, because this turbocharger was just put on no more than 14 months ago, and it should not have went out. So I'm going to pull off this tube to make sure that it is clear. And another thing that can make this shaft go bad is lack of oil change. And the oil has definitely been changed in this vehicle. So it makes me wonder if there's something going on with the tube here. So I'm going to check that out and make sure that it actually have proper flow. But the worst enemy for this shaft is lack of changing your engine oil on time. If you have a vehicle with a turbo, you have to keep that engine oil changed at all times. Also, I noticed that quite a bit of oil has come out of this blower tube too as well on the, wow, look at that. It's just constantly pouring out. And this is the hose I took off from the turbo. Not good. That is not good. Well, let's go ahead and take off this turbo. And International was kindly generous enough to put some nuts underneath. All right, we're going to take off our feeding tube, our oil supply tube, and keep in mind we have another tube. Oil will enter the turbo here, and it will exit out at the tube below and go right back into the crankcase. Let you get a closer look at it. So you can see that there was actually oil supplying the turbo. Right now, I'm just thinking when the shaft went bad, that it just blew oil everywhere. I wanted to bring the turbo outside so you can actually get a good view of it. And this is what happened. The shaft is just shot, and it was actually whirring against the side inside the turbo. And I never seen one that bad before. And oil was actually blowing out of the port here, going straight to the charger, and it dumped quite a bit of oil in the charger. Not quite sure how much. And from the charger, it goes straight to the intake. So what we're going to do, the new turbo that I'm going to install, I'm going to hook that up, hook this back in place, back to the charger. And what I'm going to do on the other end of the charger, leave the hose off and actually use the new turbo to actually try to blow out the excess oil that is inside the charger, so that we won't have any more oil going into the intake. Let's take it out the other end here. Just curious if there's going to be any oil at all. Yeah, look at that. It's definitely got to be cleaned out. Just kind of curious to see how far did it actually get. How far did that oil actually travel? Quite a bit has gotten in there. So the next thing I want to do is go ahead and take off the oil supply for the turbo, and just need to break loose the nut down here, and I just want to make sure that this line is not stopped up. Whatever the oil supply line for your turbo, you definitely want to make sure that it's clean and it's free and there's no restriction in it whatsoever. All right, we'll just blow that out. Make sure that there's no trash or anything inside of it. Well, my new turbo has arrived, and I had to turn in the old one, which I was glad to do, and get rid of it as a core. And this is one high dollar baby here. And then you can see how the shaft is supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to be. And it's just going to have a little tab of little play, but that's to be expected, and that's what you want. So I'm going to put this on a workbench, and any turbo, you're going to have to prime it. You need to get whatever oil that you're going to use for that vehicle, and it must be clean oil. And you'll put in a vise, and what we're going to do, we're going to turn this shaft, and we're going to continue to pour clean oil inside of the internal port until it starts coming out of the external port on the bottom. Okay, now I got her on the vise, and there's going to be a tension tag of some sort with any turbo, and take time to actually read that. That is very important, and they put these tags on for a reason. So it looks like we have to make sure the inlet screen is clean. So we're going to do that before we do anything else. I believe in going by all of the rules, especially when you spend over $2,000 for a part. There's that screen. Okay, we're going to clean this along with the inlet feeding hose for the turbo and any other item that we need to clean up. All right. Well, the first thing I want to do, I want to clean out this hose that goes to the charger air cooler. All right, now we want to make sure this screen is clean. And this was what the tag was warning us about. It's very important to make sure that this is clean. And you want to make sure that everything is clean that is going to be supplying oil to the turbo, because that's going to be the life of the turbo. Now, I'm really concerned about this. So I see that there's seem to be good flow there. All right, I had to change my gloves. This bar saw. Make sure you're wearing gloves in the time you mess with bar saw cleaner, and it'll definitely. You definitely don't want this on your hand. Okay, I just want to blow through the feeding tube. And just want to make sure. All right, so we back at the turbo. I'm going to be putting oil in the import, and I'm going to be turning the shaft here. I want to turn the shaft, as you can see. Turn that, and I'm going to continue to do that until I see oil come out of the outlet port, which is here. Over here. There you go. Hope you can see that. And this is going to get messy. And it's a little slow process. But you have to continue to turn it until you actually get it out of the outlet. Well, I finally see a drop of oil. It is right there, if you can see it. Right there at the outlet. Hope the camera's clear enough. There it is. You saw it roll down my finger. Okay, we're good to go. And I just want to point out that these are the O-rings and the gasket that actually comes with the turbo. So it comes with the new nuts, and it's got everything you need. Brand new gasket. All right, let's go ahead and put her back together. Got everything all cleaned up. It's a good time for us to change the oil, and we're going to use I like to use the recommended oil filter. I prefer to use Fleet Guard for international trucks and Hinos, and I'm going to use 15W40 for the engine oil. And I like to fill up the oil filter prior to installing it. Okay, we changed the engine oil and the oil filter. Now is a good time to actually change the air filter. Oh yeah, I would say it's definitely a good time. Well, last but least, we have the remaining hose that is supposed to go to the charger air cooler to the intake manifold. So I'm not going to put that on the intake manifold at the moment. So I'm just going to put the hose onto the charger air cooler, and I'm going to aim the intake hose to the ground, to the floor, and if there's any remaining engine oil in here, it can actually blow out on the tire here. So right now what I'm going to do, I'm going to start the vehicle up and just let her run, and I may raise the RPM up to at least 2,000, 2,500 RPM, and just see if I can get some oil to come out of the charger air cooler and see if there's any that's going to drain out here. Now if not, that's fine, but if there is, I don't want any more oil to go to the intake. So that's just to prevent any more oil traveling throughout the system. Quite a bit of it out. I'm just going to go ahead and put the intake hose back on and just take it from there. That's what we want. That's the way she's supposed to look and supposed to sound. That is so much better. Well, I am quite pleased. The truck is running great, and that's what we wanted. Listen, that Charger air cooler, there are several ways that you can service that. You can take it to a radiator shop, take it off the vehicle and have it flush, or you can do it the way we did it on the video. Or some of the dealers, they actually have a device that they actually can hook up to it while it is on the vehicle and have it flushed out. But what I did here, the way I did it, is the motto of my channel is to save you money. So the most important maintenance of the vehicle with the turbo is to keep the oil changed. And I recommend to use the manufacturer filter, whatever filter that is required from that manufacturer, to use that for that vehicle. Listen, I hope this helped, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you the next time. Don't forget to subscribe.